Welcome to Fat by Default. My name is Guy Severson, and this is my friend Dr. Mark Mead. Today we are going to be answering some more Skype questions that you've been sending in. We thank you for your questions. The question today is obesity inherited?
Obesity the genetic predisposition is inherited. However, that does not mean that any individual needs to become obese because their ancestors were obese.
Okay, excellent. Well, this particular questioner goes on a little bit further and says, are oversized women considered obese?
In straight science, we use what's called a BMI to determine that. Now, but BMI is a body mass index, and it is very straightforward. So you take your weight, and then you take your height, and it will give you a calculation that allows you to see which range you're in. Underweight, perfect weight, or above weight. And they're ranges, they're not a single number. So by that, we can determine whether a person is overweight or underweight or in the right zone.
Interesting. I was reading today in Jeep magazine, and they were talking about crime, and I was wondering, how does obesity and crime, is there a correlation between the two? Are obese people a little bit more? Is there more crime that arises, or no?
Well, that's a good question. Certainly, people who are obese are less likely to go out and commit crimes because they may not want to get off the couch.
Well, there you go. There you go. Interesting. I was thinking just an opposite side of the coin of maybe because they are overweight, they have less self-worth or self-confidence, and therefore they'd be more interested in committing a crime because they don't value themselves as much. Is that?
Well, I think that a better question to ask is why is that person overweight? And it may have something to do with self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, we are many times taught as a child that when we're celebrating, that we eat, or when we're sad, we eat, and these are trained or habitual activities. So, we have a birthday, we have a crisis in the family, something like that, and we treat them the same way. We use food or we use other substances to give us pleasure or to console us or things like that. And so many times we will use that food in order to get what we need, and many times that results in obesity. So self-esteem does play a part. Now, whether that leads to criminal behavior or what have you, most times people don't steal Twinkies from the grocery store, but they may do things that are to support some of the habits that they've cultured.
Interesting. This is Fat by Default. My name is Guy Severson, along with Dr. Mark Mead, and we are bringing to you a channel of different thoughts and different ideas so that you can grow in your own quest to gaining the victory against weight and unwanted weight. If you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to see the videos that grow and whatnot, and you'll be able to tap into the latest, greatest videos that we provide. We also are providing teleseminars, webinars, and a lot of other information. The best way to find out about that information is to look in the description on the right or down below and find the latest information so that you can win your battle against weight.